Hi and welcome back to the homestead on the hill. Today we're starting a new project, trying to improve the quality of our life significantly. But first, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Hein. My wife and me are building a small house on a piece of land, completely off-grid and completely debt-free. So what am I talking about when I say I want to improve the quality of our life significantly? Well, my wife wants a hot shower in the house. At the moment, we are using an external shower. It's a hand shower, and we have to go outside to shower. This is from the days when we were still living in the tent, in the camping setup. We do have running water and a flushing toilet in the bathroom in the house, but no hot water and no shower. Unfortunately, in order to get the shower going, we need to tile the entire inside of the bathroom to get it waterproof. But also, there's a number of things that need to happen before we can get the shower going. Firstly, we need to complete the hot water. We need to wire up or plumb in both gas and water, the gas geyser, the hot water heater. For that, we need to add some cladding to the rear of the house where the hot water heater will be mounted. And we need to complete the plumbing in the walls before we put up the drywall, before we can finish the tiling and finish up the hot water shower. Now, as they say on the TV program, winter is coming, and a hot water shower inside the house is important to my wife. In our previous video, we just started the cladding with the fibre cement plates, so we just continued from there, first putting up the radiant barrier behind the planks and then cutting the planks and mounting them on the wall. It's getting late on day one, but at least we've got the hot water heater mounted. It's day two, and we'll be focusing on the rest of the wall. Initially, I cut the fibre cement planks with my miter saw, but that seemed to be putting a lot of strain on the saw blade, so I started cutting it with my baby grinder and a universal grinding or cutting disc. This works very, very well, and I'm getting quite good at cutting a straight line freehand. One of the most useful tools I've used over the last couple of months is a laser level, which I borrowed from my brother-in-law. Thank you, Gerard. Without the laser level, it would have been much more difficult to get the fibre cement planks level on either sides of the door openings and the window openings. I stopped for the day when I got to the top of the door opening where I needed to start cutting the fibre cement planks to make a custom fit around the door opening. It was time to pack up, for we were traveling to Pretoria, the capital of our country, for a week, where I had the honor of walking our eldest daughter down the aisle at her wedding. On our recent trip to Pretoria, which I mentioned earlier, I was able to buy this little solder attachment for copper pipe, 15mm copper pipe. This is a 3/8 inch thread that goes into the high flow regulator, and you solder the copper pipe into the end of it. This I had to buy at a specialist gas shop. Now, if I had to do that in our area, I would have driven to the nearest big city, which is 2 hours away, for me to be able to buy this, because it's not available in a regular hardware shop. I could have ordered it online, but this is a 34 Rand item, less than maybe $2, but it's not something that is carried, and if I had to have it delivered, the shipping cost would probably be 4 times, 5 times what the cost of this item is. So I spent a lot of money while we were in Pretoria to buy this type of little thing. And now that we have the hot water heater mounted to the wall, it's time to start plumbing it in. It's going to be mounted to a gas cylinder below the hot water heater. What we need is a cutoff valve. That is by law a requirement for a gas installation. I also have a high flow regulator with a pigtail that goes to a flexible pigtail that goes to the gas cylinder. From the output of this high flow regulator, which is wall mount, I'll use copper pipe through the cutoff valve. This is the LPG installation complete, and here we have the copper pipes for the cold water inlet and the hot water outlet complete. Inside the house, in the bathroom, we went from this, where you can clearly see cold water supplying both taps on the basin, to here where we have two individual pipes coming in from the bottom, one for hot water and one for cold water. And here we have hot water connected inside the house. In other news, we planted some prickly pears, red and white variants. We were given these by a friend. Thank you very much, Hendrin. As you can see on the leaves, the colors are written in Afrikaans, my mother tongue. Just by the way, Afrikaans has been voted the second most sexiest accent in the world. That's what I heard on the radio. I don't know about that, but it's interesting. And these are domesticated versions, as opposed to the wild variant, which is quite common in our area. The wild variant is clearly distinguishable by the longer thorns on the leaves. And that is it for this update. Thank you very much for watching from everybody here on the farm, including Oberon the Rottweiler, and see you in the next video. Cheers.